said she wanted trees that were so far back on her property, we wouldn't have come to. She had dead trees in her property, she wanted me to have removed, and I told her we weren't gonna do that.
Well, I know for a fact that the tree limbs were falling out and falling on your equipment, that I had to ask our county manager to go out there and clean up off of our right of way.
Mhm.
And that's what we did. So it wasn't that far that the limbs were falling out over on top of your, I've got pictures of it
Well,
falling.
you got, these are big trees, these aren't little twigs,
Oh, I know.
these are large trees,
Yeah.
and large trees have a large coverage. So you're gonna have some that come out, but I did speak with that lady, and I'm just gonna leave it at that, and I'm not gonna go any further with the conversation with her. But the trees that were damaged were not damaged by us, she wanted us to come in, she wanted me to hire somebody to come in and clear that piece of property, and we're just not gonna do it, because it wasn't something we did. And it wasn't anything that was related to our facilities being placed there. She thought that the facilities once placed, with the cables and everything, at that point damaged the root structure that went back and started damaging all these trees. And that was not the point.
I agree with that.
That was not the point at the time. So that's been explained and all that as far as that goes. That was 2 years ago, I think, when I talked with her, approximately.
And then when I spoke to Becky and them a couple weeks ago about this, we discussed that at station, and they said that they had not sprayed any herbicide, and that's what the
Well,
lady
she
thought
was
was that
thinking,
they
she
had.
was thinking that herbicide sprayed it. I wasn't
Right.
thinking that happened or didn't happen.
Right, but it wasn't anything that they apparently did that caused the trees to die.
You know, it may have been Tri-County. Are there any power lines in that area?
On that side of the road.
So we use a granulated type of herbicide, a little small pouch, and it bleaches down, it doesn't really run off in order to do the kind of damage that you're talking about. That's what we use, is just a granular herbicide, so that we can, it's time release, so we get a little bit of help all year long, and try to keep it down, so the mowers don't get them.
Well, I think, and I think, go ahead.
I just wanna make, I think the biggest problem that I'm having with our, back in District 5 is the continuing service, and whenever the service does go down, then, I've had it happen to me, not only with CenturyLink, but just any other utility. They tell you, we'll be there between this time and this time, and they don't show or don't say anything, or, and that, then they call you and tell you that's not gonna be, now it's gonna be this afternoon, or now it's gonna be the next day. It's just not being reliable whenever they schedule it within the time frame that you would expect, for that utility. And it's not just CenturyLink, I've had personally had issues with others than just CenturyLink too, but I think that goes a long way. If they tell you they're gonna be there and they're gonna do something, then you expect it to happen.
And, you know, I think in 2017, I think Christie and Jim may have come before this commission, and we were going to do a new dispatch system at that time. I believe just about all you gentlemen were here then, so, you know, the dispatch system has improved. Back, prior to this dispatch system we have now, when we did see one big commitment, nothing happened. Didn't know, we just didn't show up. Now, at least with this one, if something happens, we get a cable cut, higher outage, we got a way of communicating with our customers, let them know, hey, your repair has been delayed. We still got you, we're gonna get you as soon as possible. If for some reason, we have a really severe local storm, that, you know, puts a lot of customers in a position where we can't meet that commitment that day, we reschedule those the next day or at the next, earliest convenience for the customer. But I do understand what you're saying there. It's inconvenient, for our customers. A lot of them have taken off work. When we do surveys with our customers, that's one of the things they tell us. If you tell me you're gonna be there, be there. That's one of the biggest things. We're improving in that area.
I appreciate the time of coming and
Yes, sir.
addressing.
Yes, sir. I'll leave my business.
You don't get that a lot.
I'll leave my business card and Mr. Coffee, if y'all have any issues, always reach out to me or that.
All right, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Appreciate it. All right, we'll move on down to number 6, renewal of the airport lease.
year, but December 31st, I think it ends. And we wanted to just go ahead and start the discussion, and I think that's what the board had asked during our budget workshops here recently, is to start putting it out to see if there was gonna be any interest from the public of continuing that lease. We were subleasing it to a crop duster, who was working in the county, and this last year, he backed out of that sublease. He's not spraying over here anymore. So we don't know if there's anybody really having any use of the facility. So we wanted to kind of put this on the agenda and let the board talk about it.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
And I reached out to a couple of our ag businesses in my district, and they're aware that the lease was running out, and they've made other arrangements already, so he told me, one of them told me that if we don't renew it, it's not gonna be detrimental to them.
So did I understand you say that it automatically expires at December 31st?
Yes, sir, it would, yeah.
Well, that'd be my motion, Mr. Chair, that it automatically expire.
All right, do we need a motion to actually, or just we could just let it die?
You don't need to take action.
Okay.
Just let it naturally terminate.
I know at a previous meeting, I had asked to give me time to go out and talk to the
Right.
folks before we decide whether we're gonna try to renew it or not.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all have any in your area.
They all use those machines, with big wheel, what you call it?
Yeah.
Which gives Lonnie a challenge.
So does the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we're in consensus that we'll just let it die on the 31st of December and, not renew it. That agreeable?
That's it.
Okay.
What's that machine called on it? One of the big wheels on it?
I call him high.
We used to call it High Boy. I'm not sure what they call them now.
Oh, okay.
All right, item number 7, interlocal agreement with the law enforcement. Mr. Reed, go ahead.
You got in your packet a copy of a proposed interlocal agreement and a copy of a section 365.179. That statute was just enacted, I believe, this last legislative session, and it requires that the sheriff and the agencies that are using dispatch enter into an interlocal agreement, and then all that's got to be given to FDLE by January 1 of 2020. So that's why we're bringing it now. The point of the statute is, as I understand it, that in bigger counties, you know, if you have a Broward County or something, you've got several different dispatch agencies, they want to be sure that everybody can communicate with each other. And so if you've got a dispatch agency, a dispatch point, and you've got somebody that's not connected, that there can be radio communication and stuff. With us, we really don't have that, because the sheriff runs dispatch, and then the dispatch is the primary dispatch for all of the local first responder agencies. So what we did for our interlocal agreement, and or what the one that's proposed here, if you start at page 3, number 4, it just lays out we've got an agreement, which is required by the statute. On number 5, it says we've got to have an agreement that sets out protocols between the PSAP, meaning the county dispatch, and then I've got it underlined, and all first responder agencies for which the PSAP does not provide primary dispatch functions. But we don't have that. We don't have anything, we don't provide primary dispatch functions. So I just put that in there that all first responder agencies which are designated as primary first responder agencies in the county receive primary dispatch services from the county PSAP. No other PSAP operates in the county. Therefore, there are no first responder agencies with which to agree to any protocols, et cetera. And then with number 6, we're required to have the ability for direct radio contact. We've already got that. Number 7, it said you have to have a resolution of any disagreements. So we just put in kind of a real simple one that will contact everyone else if there's a disagreement and work it out. And then the rest is really more or less boilerplate. I did specifically want to put in on number 13, this agreement doesn't affect funding. It's not intended to affect funding. This is just to comply with that statute. Of course, you know, that comes up from time to time on funding for the dispatch, and this isn't intended to say how we're doing it is good or bad or anything else. I mean, it's just just to deal with this one statute and get that taken care of. I know we, provided it, to Ep and the sheriff, before. I don't know if they have any comments or any requests or anything.
I think it's just standard protocol of a new requirement based on statute. We are the public safety answering point for all public safety. And, you know, they're just looking for that assurance to have it registered and filed with FDLE by January this year, or this upcoming January.
So you all, we can live with it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think there could certainly be other opportunities for, interlocal agreements that would, cover the compensation point. I did do some research, Mr. Kaufman had asked me about it. Surrounding counties, Taylor County PD, Perry PD contributes 50% to the cost of the Taylor County Sheriff's Office PSAP. Hamilton County does what true in-kind services because they, Jasper also has the only full-time fire department. And so they do a true wash. They provide those services and then Hamilton County dispatches for them as well. Monticello PD has their own dispatch separate from the Jefferson County dispatch, to give you some information for surrounding counties.
This interlocal agreement complies with the statute right now, though.
This is just strictly dealing with the PSAP, public safety answering point, and not compensations from other interlocal agencies.
To meet that January 1 deadline.
Right. And we need a motion for that.
Need a motion and a second.
That would be my motion to approve.
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve this, interlocal agreement for, compliance purposes. Any further discussion?
I guess it goes to the city next.
Yeah, it does go to the city next. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign, 4-0. All right, believe that covers the agenda. I believe we've covered every item. We'll open it up for